Some very tender people in the studio at the moment, some a little more tender than others. Lisa Kiernan from Mullingar is with us. She is the Westmeath Spartan. Jean Donnelly from Kilcormac is the Offaly Spartan, and Thomas Moore is the Laois Spartan, who all completed in spectacular fashion the Dublin City Marathon at the weekend. So what's the feeling today? Who is sore?
I'm the sorest, I think.
Yeah, but you see, Thomas, there's a bit of a story as to why you're sore today. You're not just sore because you completed the marathon. You might have had one or two or three or four yesterday.
Has to be done.
Where is the sorest part of your body?
The back and backs of the legs, front of the legs are just fierce tender, you know. Just getting out of bed this morning was like as if I was a 90-year-old man or something. Just trying to get around. I even noticed Thomas walking into the studio now was a little bit delicate. Jean, however, sauntered in.
And did a little jig on the way.
Is that a bit of false energy, I wonder?
No. My knees are a little bit tender, but not bad. And bar that, nowhere else hurts. So,
how did you build up to this? Like, you didn't just go and run 26 miles. You were progressing in stages, weren't you?
Yeah, we initially were given a plan of where we had to do X amount of miles per week. And basically, you start off slow and build up the mileage. And then just decrease it in the last 2 weeks so that the body recovers for the big one.
Okay, we'll explore that in a little more detail in a moment, but how did everybody get roped into this? Where did your story begin, Lisa?
Mine started when I seen the advertisement. It was on the internet, and it was offering the training that once you had never done a marathon before, you could get the opportunity to get training by Carl Henry and Paula Mead, the nutritionist. And it was that enticed me, because I really wanted to get fit and lose a bit of weight, and I actually just applied. Never thought I'd get through or win or anything like that, but I applied, and we had to then a county, loads of people applied, and then the top two was voting on the Facebook, and the top two from each county then went for an interview with Katrina from Spar, Carl and Paula, and then they picked the final person from each county from that, and that's how I got into it.
And was there any element of, gosh, what am I getting myself in for? Because wanting to lose weight and get fit is one thing. Running a marathon is something altogether different.
I don't think it really hit me until after they said, Lisa, you're the Westmeath Spartan. I think it'd gone like that. And then I'd say probably the night or two before the marathon, I was like, oh my God, what was I thinking when I applied? But now I haven't done it all. It was fantastic.
But you must have been a little bit fit to begin with. Did you do any running before?
I had done more walking than running. I'd done little bits of running, but I hadn't even ran a 5k, a solid 5k when I applied.
And Jean, what was your fitness level?
Yeah, nothing. I had done nothing. Same thing again. I heard it on the radio, and I thought to myself, my God, wouldn't it be able to complete a marathon a fantastic thing to say? So never had any training done, so luckily again I was picked, and then just started from there.
And Thomas?
I would have been probably non-existent. I played a small bit of football, but about 7 months ago that I was about 17 and a half stone, 18 stone, and so.
What are you now?
12 and a half.
Go away.
Yeah, so that's when I kind of, that's the reason I probably done it, was to do that, and I seen the ad on, I think it was Facebook or something like that, and it just kind of went from there. But it's definitely been life changing, and I think waking up this morning and seeing the Irish Independent and your name there, and just a medal as well, I think it's brilliant.
But let's talk about the build-up, because nearly everybody at one time or another will have gone on a fitness buzz and decided, right, I want to lose weight, I want to run, I want to cycle, or whatever it is. But you come up against a barrier after a while where you lose interest or you burn out. And how did you overcome that, Jean? How did you keep going?
Because you have to do the training. If you don't put the miles in, the thought process is, if you can't get the miles into your legs, that you're not going to be able to run it on the day. So if you keep doing your little runs and get the miles into your legs, it's fine. The kind of diet side for me was the hardest, because what I didn't want to overdo it, that I'd lose massive amount of weight, and then kind of at the end of it all stop up and not be able to continue on. So I did it at a level where I could maintain it. I didn't go mad. I ate what I eat normally. I cut out a bit on the chocolate, all right, but I still ate a bit. But from here on, I think I can maintain the level of fitness that I am at now and my weight.
Did you have a nutritionist giving you advice along the way?
Yeah, but we were set out meal plans and stuff like that, so I kind of adhered to them, but not as much. I just did what I normally did at home with meals.
Okay, so the meal plans were fairly okay. You didn't have to deprive yourself or turn into a rabbit and eat veggies all day. That's good. So that's something you can keep up because you're not depriving yourself, or you don't feel like you're depriving yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, and Lisa, initially then when you went out to run, how far did you go on day one?
I think it was about 3 miles, and even at that, some of it I had to walk because I just hadn't got that level. But over a few weeks and all that, it just built up, and I think my longest run was 18 miles up until the marathon.
But I found, and I've only done a little bit of running, that your lungs are the first big challenge, trying to keep air in the lungs. And after a while, you kind of find a rhythm and you're able to do that, but then just the rest of the body says, what the hell are you doing? And you get pains in the legs, or you lose energy, and you hit the proverbial wall. So how do you break through that?
Well, every time I thought I was getting sore or I wanted to stop, I just kept on thinking of everyone who voted for me on Facebook, everyone who said, oh, you can do this, you can do this. It was all, that was the thoughts that was going through my head, so I just kept going as far as I physically could.
But does the body get used to the distances after a while?
Oh God, yeah, it does, yeah. Like after 2 or 3 weeks, you'll notice your fitness levels coming up so much. It's actually amazing how it comes up so quick. You'd never realise that it would, like from 4 months, that none of us could run, that we could finish a full marathon.
And did you all train alone, or did you have somebody with you?
Well, I know I personally trained alone for 90% of it. So
yeah,
that can
I'm
be
the same,
lonely,
yeah.
But you see, that's another challenge, because if you're, say, out in the country and you're running and you're really on your own, you only have your own thoughts, and if you're going for 4 hours or 5 hours, mentally, how do you prepare?
For me, it was good because I got away from everything and I could just think about absolutely mad, random stuff when I was running. Like, if I ran by a garage, I was like, oh my God, if I win the lotto, I could buy these cars. And it was just mad, funny stuff that would go through your head that you'd never even think of, like, but it was fine and we got there.
How did you keep yourself going, Thomas?
I done all my training on my own as well. For the long runs, like the 20 mile, I went to Athlone and done my 20 mile in the 3/4 marathon up there, because I'd find it hard now to go on my own for would be in 3 hours. You know, like you're on a road and there's no one around, and you just have the iPod and that's it. So I just done mine by going to the Athlone 3/4 marathon, and that was tough. Like, it was.
Yeah, I was the same. I said, if we got the Athlone 3/4 marathon under our belt, then we've got good setting for the Dublin City Marathon.
Yeah.
And I think mentally that was something. If you can overcome that, then it's only a little bit more for the Dublin City Marathon.
Yeah, I wonder how much of a mental block there is. Is it that you reach a certain distance and you realise, oh, hang on, I have this distance to go, and you feel the thought almost holds you back?
Yesterday I was struggling at around 18 miles, and then just from out of nowhere, Lisa and Jen came up from behind and tapped me on the shoulders, and I was really struggling at that stage, and they kept me going for another 4 miles after that. So I think as well there was great spirit in the race. Everybody is shouting at you and everybody's saying, come on, come on, and that really does give you a lift and it gives you a boost and it makes you keep going.
Yeah, was it easier then, rather than running alone, because in Dublin there are 14,000 people running with you? Does that keep you going? Does it coax you on more so than being in a country road all on your own?
Oh, definitely. I mean, everyone that walked by you or ran by you had something to say. They said hello or come on, keep going. If they knew you were struggling and you were starting to walk, they'd egg you on. And then the crowd were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
they stood out in the spills of rain, had jellies, had water, had orange, had absolutely everything, and clapping you. And the kids just dressed in their Halloween costumes. All they wanted to do was tap your hand going by. It was fantastic.
As we were saying, there was people with tents set up, and there was people with patio furniture at the side of the road, all sitting out with their banners cheering everybody along.
Did you know the route in advance?
Yes, it's on. If you look up the Dublin City Marathon website, they had the route all set out and even a video of it, so you
But
could
were
follow
you
that.
tempted to go up in the car and drive around it and see whether it was achievable or not?
Sometimes you're better off not knowing where you're going.
Yeah, I was the same. I didn't want to know, and I hadn't got a clue. I mean, a couple of times we asked some of the crowd where actually were we, because we hadn't got a clue where we were.
Thomas, what was your toughest moment?
I think about mile 11 yesterday was my toughest moment. It was from Dolphin's Barn to Crumlin up to Walkinstown, and I was in the 4. I was going fairly well at the 4 hour pacers, and I just started struggling. Like, it was just I picked up an injury about a month ago, and I could just, probably just mentally as well, I just lost it for about 2 or 3 miles. Like, you know, it was just so hard, and I just felt I was getting injured, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this now, you know. And then got back together, and like everyone says, mile 20 is the wall that you hit, like, and I'd say mile 20 to 26 was probably my best moment of the marathon yesterday.
What was the nature of the injury?
It came from the Athlone 3/4 going up the 18th mile. It was
Athlone is very hilly.
Yeah.
It's a very hilly course.
It was a killer of a hill, like, and I picked up a glute injury, and I've had 5 or 6 physio sessions with it, like, you know, but like it's grand now, like, but just yesterday was I think Crumlin, there could have been a 2 or 3 mile climb there at one stage, and you could just feel it starting to get tender and things like that, you know, but look, lasted anyway, and
Yeah, the
thank
slow
God.
progressive climbs are nearly the worst.
Yeah, like, I was told beforehand that was going to be the toughest climb, you know, it was just long and dreary, like, and it kind of affected me a small bit, but just
But was
just
there
kept
ever
going.
any doubt, even when your glute was screaming at you, that you were still going to do this?
Oh, it was definitely, like, it didn't matter what way I was going to do it, you know what I mean? Like, because especially with the Spartan thing, like, there's a fierce lot of media coverage and coverage from home, and everyone is wondering how you're getting on, and wondering how you're doing, and like, best, like, how many messages did anyone get yesterday morning, like, or the day in the days up to it, like, you know. So you just think of them, or you just think of people maybe that, like, can't run, or
I don't think you can go into something like this and think that, no, I'm not going to be able to do this. You have to go in with a positive attitude and know that you are going to achieve it at the end.
What was the sensation like at the end, though? Because I've run 5 miles, 8 miles, pales by comparison to what you guys do, and it feels terrific. So crossing that finish line must have been, you know, indescribable.
I think it was, well, you're delighted that you're finished, first of all, because the rain was something terrible yesterday. And I think just happy to finish.
Yeah, it was overwhelming to finish, and to know you'd finished going under that tunnel thing. It was just, it was like a dream come true. It was a dream that we've been dreaming for the last 4 months, was to finish, to get by the 26.2 miles, and just to finish was absolutely fantastic.
But is that it now? Do you say, I've done it, I've achieved it, I'm leaving it there?
Oh God,
Oh, no.
no, definitely not.
We were talking outside about doing something for Christmas, maybe a half marathon or something like that.
Yeah, even on the way home in the car, coming home last night, I was talking about next year, next Dublin City Marathon, and what times I could do it in next year, because this one was more for fun element, to know I could do it this time, but maybe next year take it a little bit more, not serious, because it was serious, but to put more emphasis onto the times and the fitness. This one I just really thoroughly enjoyed every single mile of it.
Well, I deliberately didn't ask you about the times, because in many ways they're not important. The achievement is completing it. But like, the time you ran, Lisa, was 5 hours, 24 minutes, 29 seconds.
Yeah.
You want to do better?
Yeah. I picked up an injury probably 2-3 months into my training, where my knees were absolutely killing me. So I knew at that stage that I'd just have to run through the pain if I was going to complete the marathon. So I just said this time I was just going to. I actually walked a few bits of the marathon, like, and I stopped, I got photos taken, and so I know personally myself that if I didn't stop, if I didn't, have banter with the crowd, if I didn't stop at the Spar shops that had people dressed as Spartans and had balloons for us, I stopped and got balloons, photographs taken. I know I could have taken easily 10-15 minutes off that yesterday if I really wanted to, but for my first marathon I wanted to really wholeheartedly enjoy it, so I knew then I would do another one. If I didn't enjoy it yesterday, I don't think I'd probably go back to a full marathon, maybe a half one. So I just really wanted to enjoy yesterday.
Yeah, you don't want to dread a marathon because you're never going to do it if you end up dreading it. And Thomas, are you going to keep up an exercise regime?
No, definitely, yeah, definitely. I'm already looking at half marathons. I think there's one in Waterford there at Christmas time, so definitely. I've even looked at maybe Belfast or Cork Marathon in May or June next year, and hopefully, well, I'll be definitely doing Dublin the next year. Like, the atmosphere is just unbelievable, and when you
People
cross,
are great.
oh yeah, it just shows how much of a passionate country the Ireland is. Like, when you see people out and people you don't even know, like, and I wrote my name on the front of my t-shirt, like, and thousands of people just cheering you on, like, and calling your name as if you're a brother or sister to them nearly, like, and giving you sweets and doing whatever they can to just get you over the line,
And Jean, I imagine your husband now, who I know is a fitness freak in his own right, will he be supporting you and keeping you going over the next couple of months then, if you intend to keep this going?
Absolutely. He's even talking about doing the Dublin City Marathon with me next year.
Is he?
Yeah.
Can we hold him to that? Robbie Donnelly, who is a familiar voice to anybody listening to Midlands 103 on a regular basis. Robbie is Jean's other half. So, yes, now it's official. He's going to enter the Dublin City Marathon. Fingers crossed. Guys, well done.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic achievement. You all deserve to be very, very proud. And thank you so much for coming in to us.
No problem.
Thank you.
Robbie does not look happy. Bless. Lisa Kiernan from Mullingar, Jean Donnelly from Kilcormac, and Thomas Moore from County Laois, our Spartans from the Midlands.